A young woman is about to be killed in Vietnam as we speak, and there's a high chance that by the time you're watching this video, she would most likely be dead. All because she traveled abroad to look for work. And I want you all to listen to this story because it could save your life. In 2023, a 37-year-old African woman from Kenya began processing her papers to the Middle East in order to secure domestic work opportunities from where she planned to take care of her family back home. Margaret Nduta Makaraya was celebrated by a whole village when they heard that she was finally traveling abroad. When the news broke out that her papers were sure and that her travel was certain, everyone celebrated her. Her family, her neighbors, the entire village congratulated her. For some significant reason, she may have been the first in her family to travel abroad. So this was a big deal. They prayed for her, they threw a send-off party for her. And eventually, Margaret got ready to move. She packed her bags and was waiting for the D-Day. But right before she would leave Kenya, she met a man named John. Some sources said John is her agent, the one processing her visas and arranging for her to travel to the Middle East to work. Other sources claim that John was a man who knew about her traveling and decided to meet her for a deal. Bottom line was, she met a man named John, and John saw her and was like, "Oh, Margaret, this bag you're carrying to travel to the Middle East is too small. Let me get you a new one." And that was how this man offered to buy her a new traveling bag. And in this bag, there was a small briefcase that contained documents and small pieces of clothes. And this man told Margaret that since you're going to the Middle East, I'm going to sponsor you there to Qatar. But before you start your job in Qatar, I want you to help me deliver this small briefcase to a woman in Vietnam. So I'm thinking that for her to trust John was not necessarily a total stranger. Maybe they had enough time to be familiar with each other, especially on this business level. And the man did not stop at buying her a new traveling bag. After requesting the errand, this said man offered to pay Margaret $2,300. And this was the tempting offer. He even gave Margaret $1,300 upfront and offered to process all her travel documents, her flight tickets, and even securing the job for her in Qatar. So with this, I'm thinking John was the agent itself that was doing all of this for Margaret. I don't believe he was a total stranger that came out of nowhere to interrupt her traveling movements. Otherwise, that would not have been a smart choice. So I am understanding now that this man, John, was the one who had told her everything about the traveling, promised her the job in the Middle East. But first of all, for her to get it, she would have to deliver that briefcase to a woman in Vietnam. And since she did not have any option, because if she did, I'm sure she would have taken the alternative. The man had offered to pay her flight tickets, cover the cost of her traveling, and had even given her $1,300 upfront. And so Margaret did not think much of it. It's just to deliver a small briefcase to a strange woman in Vietnam that all she had to do is sit in the plane, land, get in another plane, land, give the woman the bag, and then go back to the Middle East where she will start working as a domestic worker and then be $2,300 richer. So this was a good deal. And this also sounds familiar because we've heard a story like this before. We've told one already on this channel. So her first trip was to Ethiopia. Sources said she went by flight. Other sources said she went by bus. When she got to Ethiopia, she was there for 10 days before taking a flight to Qatar. And when she got to Qatar, she took another flight to Vietnam. In Ethiopia, the bags were not detected. In Qatar, the bags were not detected. But when she got to Vietnam, as she was about to process her documents into the country, they went through her bag, saw the small briefcase, brought it out, and saw nearly 2 kilograms of cocaine. And this was the moment Margaret knew that she was in trouble. She was confronted by it, and she denied having any knowledge that such substance was in that bag. She told the authorities that somebody asked her to deliver this bag to a woman in Vietnam. And that's all she knew. She did not know what was in the bag. Unfortunately for her, Vietnam is one country with a strict anti-narcotics law. They don't play with drugs in that country. It's death sentence. Anyone with over 600 milligrams of cocaine. And she had 2 kilograms of it. She is done for. Instantly, she was arrested, and this was around the 14th of July 2023. Barely a week after she left her country, her family, her hometown, they are back there hoping she had landed. The last her sister or mother spoke to her, she was in Qatar, and they have thought that since Qatar is the Middle East, that was where she was finally going to be to settle and do her job. Most likely, that was what she was supposed to do. Most likely, she had gone there, secured the domestic place where she would now work as a maid. Eventually, she still had to go and do one last job, and that is to deliver the briefcase in Vietnam. She was immediately arrested. Her case began trial. I'm not sure when it became big news. I'm sure it may have gotten viral at that time in 2023, but right now in 2025, after she was sentenced to death by lethal injection in March, the story is resurfacing, and the Kenyan authorities are on the clock to find a way to get her back home.
Whatever it will take us to do, let us do so that we can save the life of Margaret Luther. Thank you. God bless you.
From what we are hearing, the government, the diplomats, the ambassadors, lawyers, a lot of people in the Kenyan government have been trying so many ways to speak with the authorities in Vietnam, to speak with the government in Vietnam, to find a way to pardon this young woman. They've even offered that they would try her in their country so that she could have a fair trial. But here is the thing, Vietnam is not one of those countries. Vietnam does not even have any international relationship with Kenya. They are just one of those countries that are like, hi, hey. But other than that, there's no deal that could be created or formed in this situation. Although she would have been killed a Monday ago from when we are posting this video, it hadn't been announced that she had been killed. So there is still that chance that yes, the Vietnam government is slowing it down bit by bit. It's unclear the negotiations going on, as at the time of making this video, her death has not been announced. She should have been executed as at the time of making this video, but no news have come out on that topic. That could either mean one or two things. It has been postponed, delayed, or there's a chance that whatever the Kenyan government is doing is working. And given that this is the age of social media, I feel like it would be a good thing for more people to raise awareness on this cause. The laws are very strict in Vietnam when it comes to drugs, and it's straight to the electric chair. Someone that was sentenced early in March is to be executed before the end of March, whereas in other countries, people who are on death row has been on death row for more than 10-20 years. But in this case, they really want to just get rid of her. I am hoping for the best, but I'm going to tell you right now, I won't be surprised if the Vietnam authorities go on with executing this woman, just so they could use this to warn anyone coming into their country with the intention of trafficking drugs. During her trial, she kept saying she had no idea the drug was there. She mentioned the man sent her, but the authorities, the judge did not buy it. The judge did not believe her. Her defense was not strong enough. They said there is no how she wouldn't know. There is no how she wouldn't have known what was in it. And they also said that ignorance is not an excuse. And to be honest with you, the fact that money was included, the fact that she mentioned that this man offered to pay her $2,300 just to deliver a briefcase was something that was brought into questioning too. This is the same thing we've seen, that of the boy who was killed in Indonesia years ago, the Nigerian boy and Tochi who was killed in Indonesia. The same thing, the fact that the judge, yes, that money was involved, kind of made them believe that she most likely knew what she was getting into. And ironically, people who had seen the stories all believe that she knew what she was getting into. Some people claim she was naive, she's a naive young woman that they took advantage of. She's in her 30s. She's well spoken. She has an education of some sort. There is no way somebody will give you a bag to deliver that you would not know what's in it. Unlike Tochi's own that was packaged in a capsule where it's easy to deceive the little boy who was 19, this was pure powder form. This was pure cocaine in waterproof, see-through. So there was no how, no way that she could convince the judge in Vietnam that she did not know what was going on. I feel like the odds are against her. And right now, there is no Mr. John to hold accountable, because I don't even believe the man's name is Mr. John. In Tochi's case, it was a man named Mr. Smith. One thing about these people who send people to traffic drug is they always be having a Mr. and a single name. No surname, nothing else. How can a random stranger meet you, give you a bag to take to another country and offer you huge sum of money and you're not suspicious? Why couldn't he do it himself? Why? Or why couldn't he bill it? Why couldn't they send it through some kind of DHL or something? Why are they sending you? They're just setting red flags from this situation that was already clear from the get-go. And it's hard for me thinking about it now that Margaret did not know the content of those bags. It's hard to think so. In your 30s, no. But the bottom line is, we are hoping that regardless of it, the laws are too harsh. Killing somebody over being in possession of this drug where people are making millions in other country with, it's just too harsh. It's not that serious. What about 20 years in prison? What about life in prison? What about a total ban from the country? Or flog that 12 strokes of the cane publicly, televise it, put it on YouTube, something like that. But to kill someone because they were with cocaine in your country, I'm not going to tell the Vietnam government how to run their country, but death sentence is a little too harsh. And I'm sure they most likely keep it harsh for foreigners. If it was one of their own, I know there will be a lot more lenient. There will be a lot more kinder. But they always do this to foreigners, especially when you're black. Because I'm sure if it was a white person, if it was an American person, well, the thing is, the American government would know how to bargain with this thing. That's why, as a country, you got to have swag. You got to have power. That's why it's just what it is. If it was an American citizen, a Canadian citizen, even a citizen from Qatar, it would be easy to negotiate. The government of Vietnam would be like, okay, you guys have something we want. We'll give you this in exchange for this. That is how they trade these kind of situations. It has happened multiple times where countries will hold or offenders from other countries and have to make deals with their home countries to get them back. But I wonder what the Kenyan government is going to have to offer to the Vietnam government that will make them change their mind. Because the Vietnam government has one or two options. Use this girl as an example to show the world a lesson that there is no tolerance for drug country. Because let's face it, if they let her go, just like that, they may see a surge of people coming to transport drugs. That law would be, if they let this lady go, there's a chance that more people will start going there to transport drugs with hopes that they too will be let go. And if they kill her, it will send shockwaves to the heart of people. People will avoid that country. I'm not going to lie. Vietnam is going to lose some kind of, tourist viewpoint in a way. I don't know. Do people even go there for tourism? I don't know. I'm just disturbed by this story. I do hope that somehow, some way, the Kenyan government is able to secure this woman's life quietly and secretly. Nobody needs to know. That way, the Vietnam government can keep their reputation, and this lady can come back home, and whatever deal they make should be kept on the low. It shouldn't even make the news. I don't want to hear it. However, if she is killed, that I would want to hear, because it will be really unfortunate. On this note, guys, those of you planning to travel, those of you thinking of going out there to do domestic work, be careful. Don't trust anybody. Don't let anybody pack your bags for you. And if anybody wants to give you something to take to somewhere, check it. If they try to offer you money, just know that it's not legit. So, wow. Let's just see how this play out. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following this page. Should there be any update on this story, I'll be happy to update you guys.